We'd like to welcome all of you again to the Purposes of God. I am your host again, Doug Krieger of the Tribulation Network. This is video number 11 in our special series of the Purposes of God, and we hope you enjoy this video number 11 out of our 29-part series. In video 11, we're going to be considering Draco and the Zodiac. Each age is 2,160 years. Earth is concluding the age of Pisces, prior to the age of Aquarius. The point where the sun crossed the equator was once in the constellation of Aries, but now it is in the constellation of Pisces. It is nigh at the start of Aquarius. The sun's backward precession of the equinoxes through the 12 zodiac houses is a cycle that takes 25,920 years to complete, or 25,920 divided by 12 of these ages is equal to 2,160 years for each of these 12 ages. The name of the age changes when the vernal equinox point moves into a different zodiac constellation. One cycle of Earth's precession, 25,920 years, is called a great year of Platonic year or Plutonic year. Another spiral cycle of precession of the equinoxes begins when one Plutonic year is completed. Each age is again 2,160 years, and there are 12 of them. As you can see on the chart: Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Times 12 of these 2,160 years, which by the way is the diameter of the moon, will equal 25,920 years. Earth is in the final stages of the age of Pisces, prior to the age of Aquarius. That is 2,160 years plus 360 to circle degrees in a circle. God overall would equal 2,520 in any given age. A third of the devil's tale. And his, the devil's, tale drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. The Apocalypse, the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 4. The devil and his angels are cast to the earth in warfare with Michael in the Revelation, chapter 12, verses 7 through 9. These are two separate occurrences. Revelation 12:4 and Revelation 12:7 and 9 are different. The word for tail is ora, root for heavens, or hora, the word for a 60-minute hour, a circle, and fits into Earth's northern axis rotation throughout the great or precessional cycle in relation to the constellation Draco. Here we see a graphical of the constellation Draco on your right. Draco and the 25,920 year precession. This precession is due to the gravitational effects of the sun and moon on the Earth's equatorial bulge. That is, if the Earth were a perfect sphere, there would be no precession. The result is a slow rotation of the axis of the Earth's rotation with respect to the Earth's orbit around the sun, an approximate 25,920 year cycle. Now this results in the star Polaris, as you can see on your chart there. If you can identify Polaris there, you will see Polaris very clearly delineated there, being the current north star, that is the pole star or north celestial pole. However, during ancient Egypt, the pole star was Alpha Draconis Thuban, while 12,000 years from now, the north celestial pole will lie near the brilliant blue star Alpha Lyra Vega, as you can see there on this chart. One-third of the dragon's tail. Over the course of 25,920 years, the Earth's northern axis traces a circle around the largest and most northern constellation, Draco, the dragon. Its configuration in the precessional circle of the north, that of one-third of the entire 25,920 year circuit, lies directly along Draco's tail. And you can see that on the chart. Draco is got that tail, and it is crossing at about 3000 BC and going up to where we are today at Polaris around 2000 AD. The third of Draco's tail actually would be in this very clear constellation chart 6,660 years unto AD 33, plus an additional 1,980 years would equal 8,640 years, which is a third of the precessional years of 25,920 years. Or we could say that 6,660 years plus 1,980 years from the death and resurrection of Christ in AD 33 would equal to 8,640 years, or one-third of the precessional cycle, or 25,920 years, up to the year 2013 AD, completing the entire cycle of 8,640 years. One-third of the dragon's tail in the Great Precession is calculated as follows: 25,920 years divided by 3, or a third, would equal 8,640 years, as we detail. Or 8,640 years plus 8,640 years plus 8,640 years will equal the entire precessional cycle of 29,920 years. Earth's northern axis every 25,920 years traces a circle around Draco. For the last third of the precessional cycle of 8,640 years, the pole has been anchored to the dragon. The precession of the equinoxes. The precession of the equinoxes is equal to 25,920 years. It is equal to 360-degree rotation, a complete cycle. If the sky is divided into 12 constellations, then 25,920 divided by 12, as we have said, will equal 2,160 years. Now note, 6 times 10 times 6 equals 360, and 360 times 6 is equal to 2,160. A new sign or constellation appears on the horizon approximately each 2,160 years, or every 30 degrees of the 360 circle. Note, 2 times 2,160 equals 4,320. Times 6 will equal 25,920 years, or 12 times 360 equals 4,320 years, or 25,920 divided by 360 is equal to 72. Therefore, to move 1 degree on the horizon is equal to 72 years, approximately, or 72 years times 360 degree circle or precessional would equal to 25,920 years. Now, I want you to pause and take a look at these calculations, and if you misunderstand them, do the best you can to figure them out, because this precession is exceedingly accurate, and you can take a look at it from the drawing that we're looking at here. "33 AD, victory over 666. And the dragon stood before the woman, who was ready to give birth to devour her child as soon as it was born. She bore a male child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and his throne." Revelation 12:4 and 5. The life of Christ from his incarnation to his ascension is recorded in those 2 short verses. Now we have a 33%, or 1/3 of the precessional circle, as, again, 8,640 years. Now, using the Gregorian calendar and the year AD 33 as the date that Revelation 12:5 was fulfilled, this would leave us 1,980 years unto AD 2013, or to the end of AD 2012, or 6,660 years to AD 33, plus 1,980 years to AD 2012-2013, or a total of 8,640 total years, and the end of the cycle, or 1/3 of the cycle, or 1/3 of the devil's tail. Moon, Earth declare victory over Draco. The moon's diameter is 2,160 statute miles, or 4 precise ages of the zodiac or the precessional circle. Therefore, beginning at Gemini, the epic age, through Taurus, through Aries, through Pisces, up to Aquarius, constitutes 1/3 of Draco's tail, or 1/3 of the precessional, or 4 moon diameters, 2,160 being the diameter of the moon in miles, times 4 would equal 8,640, which would be, in fact, the number of years, or 1/3 of the precessional cycle. When 1,260 is subtracted from the Earth's diameter of 7,920, the result is 6,660, or the time frame from Gemini up into Pisces unto AD 33, the crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension, the man-child caught up of Christ. 1,260 is the final half of Daniel's 70th week, the dragon upon the earth and his ultimate defeat. The 1,980 years since AD 33. In navigation, 33 degrees of the circle of the earth has 1,980 nautical miles, or 60 minutes in an hour times 33 is equal to 1980 nautical miles. 1980 years requires 6,660 years more to equal 8,640 years. This is the exact number of minutes in 33 hours, or 33 times 60 will equal 1980. The majority of Draco's tail lies 6,660 years along the precessional circle before AD 33. The year 2013 is the number of minutes as well in 33 hours plus 33 minutes, and the number of nautical miles in 33.33 degrees of the great circle of the Earth. This is the end-time deliverance of God's elect from the dragon as seen in the constellations by Dr. Gavin Finley of endtimepilgrim.org. He talks about the second coming of Messiah around the time of the crossing between the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. The sheep of God's pasture have been pinned up in the lesser sheepfold and threatened by the encircling dragon. The breaker comes, and they break out in a glorious deliverance with their Messiah at their head. The perseverance and preservation of the saints. Then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. So the great dragon was cast out, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death. This is different than the original Revelation, chapter 12, verses 4 and 5. This is found in Revelation, chapter 12, 6, 9, and 11. His tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. The great cycle is nothing more than the 25,920-year precessional cycle, whereby the north pointing pole of planet Earth's axis of rotation describes a great circle in the heavens, with the pole star shifting from Polaris to Vega to Alpha Draconis, and all the space in between. Astronomy is well aware of the cycle, but ascribes very little significance to it. The precession cycle awakens one to astrology, the occult, and the 12 signs of the zodiac, no doubt about that. The zodiac follows the 25,920-year cycle, or precessional cycle, or the great cycle. Quite frankly, as it says in the scripture, the devil knows he has but a short time. This is our last slide regarding the 4 seasons and the 4 living creatures. The royal arc of the ages of the zodiac, the ensigns of the 12 zodiacal constellations, representing the 12 ages in the precession of the equinoxes, appear to arc their way across the sky as if in royal procession. The beginning of a new zodiacal season is marked by the standards of the lion, the bull, the man, and the eagle, as you see in this diagram. There is the man in the bottom left corner around the winter solstice. The bull, or the calf, Taurus, is at September the 21st, the beginning of fall. The lion is the beginning of summer, is Leo, the summer solstice. The eagle, Scorpio, is the spring equinox of March the 21st. The first living creature was like a lion. The second living creature like a calf, ox, or bull. The third living creature had the face like a man. And the fourth living creature was like a flying eagle. Revelation chapter 4 and verse 7. This concludes our 11th video. Again, this is your host, Doug Krieger. Thank you for listening and viewing. And now we'll go on to video number 12 in this special series. Thank you.